What is good, everybody? Welcome back to Joint Dropper Sports. I'm your host, Shanti Stewart, and look, my apologies. I did not get a video out earlier this week about the Panthers' huge victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm a little late on getting a video out before their matchup with the Seattle Seahawks, but I figured I'd try to give the people something before everything kicks off, and I may just make this a short or whatever, and y'all just watch it whenever you feel like it. But let's get into it.
Lock my phone, put it back down. Let's try it again in the morning, bro.
I don't want it to jeopardize how I use it. You know what I'm saying? Because you are insane.
I think we got the news that Tonka is staying. Thank God, finally some good news.
So the Carolina Panthers come into this matchup versus the Seattle Seahawks after a huge win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Bank of America Stadium. Just to give a quick synopsis on that game, I was very impressed with how this team responded to every single blow thrown by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay went with a more game managing approach, trying to bleed the clock down, kind of the similar style that as we played against the Los Angeles Rams and trying to shorten that game up. I don't quite understand why you would go against what your strength is if you're Tampa Bay, but that's neither here nor there. We got the victory. The one thing I love is just the level of precision that we play with in high risk moments. In the third quarter, especially when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go down and score, there is no other answer other than to go score a touchdown. And I think seeing this team operate at a high level, seeing where Bryce Young has come as a quarterback, he's playing at a Pro Bowl level right now. He's been one of the better quarterbacks for the past month of the season. He's playing with a lot of poise, he's playing with a lot of confidence. And I think the more and more we start to see him and his weapons get in tune, then we're going to be a better team for it. I think my biggest gripe with this offense right now is Xavier Legette. I as a South Carolina alum and as a fan of Xavier, I can't mince words with this, man. He hasn't been good. He hasn't been good at all. If anything, he's been as bad or if not worse than Keon Coleman. He doesn't provide what we need consistently. They've been kind of soft benching him anyway. If you've paid attention to the snap counts, those numbers have been dwindling week by week. David Moore is probably on deck to come back. I imagine if Dave Canales has a chance to get David Moore back on the field, a guy that he trusts the most, probably within that receiver room, outside of Teteroy McMillan, he's going to get him on the field. I think the Panthers offense is another level this team can reach if their weapons can all play at a high level consistently. We're seeing Coker really start to take form and take shape after coming off of that quad injury. You're seeing T-Mac still play at a high level for a guy that's a rookie. And at this juncture of the season where that rookie wall would have hit, and I'm still seeing him and this offense still find ways to continuously get better, continuously find growth. That was a huge game nonetheless, put you right there in position to control your destiny in the NFC South. But let's move on to the Seattle Seahawks. Coming into this game, Seattle has been one of the hottest teams in the league. Another number one seed for the Carolina Panthers to face and potentially knock off. The Panthers have knocked off the Green Bay Packers while they were the number one seed, and the Los Angeles Rams while they were the number one seed. The great part about this game is that it is at home. It is in Bank of America Stadium. The fan base will have a chance to come out, get loud, get rowdy for another huge game that could have huge implications as the season goes along, with the Panthers potentially still having a chance of getting the 3 seed if things were to go their way in other places. This is a huge game. There's a chance for you to also clinch the South if you were to win and Tampa Bay were to lose. The thing about this game is that Mike McDonald and that defense strike the fear of God in me, if I had to be completely honest. He's a great defensive coordinator, one of the best in the game. Well, he was one of the greatest defensive coordinators in the game, turning into now one of the better young head coaches. That group is going to make life hard for our ground attack. I imagine every team from here on out is going to make sure that Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard will not be effective in our game plan. I think the biggest, I agree with that sentiment as well. If I'm just being honest, look, make Carolina have to sit back there and throw the ball 30 plus times a game. That's not been the strength of our team thus far this season. We've had moments where that's been able to work, obviously against Atlanta, in the second matchup, but that isn't consistently how we've won games. We've won games with balance. We've won games with be able to control the clock, have timely plays be made by our receivers T-Mac is typically money for a deep ball. Jalen Coker is usually cash on those slots, on a slot fade or something. And we're able to typically win games that way. Bryce is typically able to create with his legs getting outside the pocket. There are a lot of things that we do that don't necessarily coincide with us having to be a traditional drop back team for 30 plus snaps. That isn't the strength of our game. And this is why I mentioned Xavier Legette earlier. I know it may be crazy to think that, he needs to have a big performance in order for us to have a chance. He needs to be viable. Not a big performance, but be viable. When plays need to be made near the sideline, brother, have a clue. Have a clue. Let's look down. Let's see where our feet are. Let's plant those things and make the catch. You know what I'm saying? Have enough field awareness to make those plays. Simply just catch the ball when it's thrown your way. All hands are on deck for a matchup like this. You're going to need everybody. All of those young guys are going to be asked to play well. Jatavion Sanders will be asked to play well. Jimmy Horn will be asked to play well. I think, especially having to get guys like him going. I think Jimmy Horn, as we near the playoffs, I don't think Dave Canales can be afraid to implement him into the offense and trust him to go make a play. I feel like we very rarely use him. He's out there strictly for just a gimmick, and there is no semblance of a threat when he's on the field because he isn't attacked very often by our offense. If I had to guess, look, defensively, if I had to say anything to Ajero Avero, brother, don't be afraid to send it. I don't know if I want to allow Sam Darnold to sit back and drop back and pass with our pass rush. We don't have one. We have one of the worst pass rushers in the game. DJ Wonnum's a non-factor. Nick Scorin's a rookie who again can affect the quarterback, but hasn't gotten home as many times as he probably would like, honestly. Obviously Derrick Brown and Ashawn Robinson in the interior, stopping Kenneth Walker will be huge. Obviously the biggest problem is Jackson Smith and Jigba. Knowing that we don't travel our corners. JC Horn won't be strictly on them. Mike Jackson is going to get a lot of work. They may move him in the slot. Shaw Smith-Wade may get a lot of work. There's going to be plenty of opportunities for every single guy in that room to see one of the best receivers in the game. Look, not even that. He is the best receiver this year. Whether you want to call him the best receiver in the game, he's the best receiver right now. And he's an absolute problem. Look, it feels good to have a $100 million corner and JC Horn. This is what you get paid for. These are the matchups that make you all pro. You are already a pro bowler, but if you want to be an all pro and get to that status where everybody in the league knows that you're one of the very best at your position, then this is a game where you prove that. I think allowing Sam Darnold to sit back and dice you up isn't what I would like to do. Look, to each their own. I think that getting after Sam Darnold, sending blitzes would be my preferred way of going about getting after the guy. Claudin Sherrillis will be starting at middle linebacker with Trevin Wallace not going on IR. I'm not extremely concerned about that. I truly believe Claudin Sherrillis has been a better fit at the middle linebacker position than Trevin Wallace. While Trevin Wallace has improved from his rookie year to this year, and that's to be commended and to be applauded. I think Claudin Sherrillis plays a faster game to me than Trevin Wallace does. It's less of a thinking game. It's more of a see ball, get ball type of game. And I kind of appreciate that more. Isaiah Simmons now being elevated to the active game day roster. I kind of like the possibilities that he could bring as well. So I'm not overly concerned about the injuries. And that's pretty much that on that. I mean, I know we have guys that we're looking to get back, and David Moore. I think they're hoping to open up his window soon. Robert Hunt's window has been open, and I expect to see him back for the final game against Tampa Bay. Great to get a guy like that back for a potential playoff run. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. That's pretty much all I got for y'all. I didn't want to hold y'all too long. Look, man, my final thoughts are this. This is fun. This has been a fun ride. No matter what happens, this has been one of the more fun seasons that I've been a part of. Been one of the best seasons since I've started doing a podcast that we've had as a team. So it's fun to talk about a winning football team right now. I just want to continue to see this thing grow. I want to continue to see Bank of America be filled with joy, be filled with pride. That stadium, we saw how loud it got for the Tampa Bay game. The fans will come out and support when you give them something to support. That's the first thing I need everybody to understand. This is not a bad fan base. This is a scorn fan base. We just we're not giving a lot, so we won't give a lot. We're going to give as much as you give. And that's just, I think, how any good relationship should go, should it not? But I'm your host, Sean T. Stewart. This has been Jump Dropper Sports. Like and subscribe to the channel, and I'm out.